think we're ready to probably get started here. We've got a healthy amount of people here, so yeah, let's just get started. Hi, everybody. How's it going? For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tommy. I'm the market manager for Plexus, so happy to have you all here. We're excited to show you more about what we're showcasing on Infocomm, all the cool things that are going on. I'm sure you guys have seen it on LinkedIn, and we get emails and get in contact by Arthur and Jim and Seth. So yeah, we're really excited about all this stuff. So we're gonna run you guys through this, and then Steven and Jason will also run you guys through some things. Feel free to ask questions too as we're going through this. We're happy to answer any questions. So for Infocomm this year, it's in Las Vegas. We're at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Our booth is C10301 in Central Hall there. Just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of where it's at right there. You can kind of see it's up top. So it's not too bad, not too hard to find there. Thank you so much. Yeah, but this is where you can find us. We've got a couple events going on and press and stuff like that, which we'll get into a little bit. But yeah, we're hoping that those of you that can be there will stop by and hang out for a little bit. For the next one. All right. For attendance, we've actually got quite the cast this year. Of course, we've got Steven, myself, Jason Fritz coming, but we also have Jeff Zhu coming. We've got Jim. We have Seth, who just recently joined us not too long ago here. And then we also have Jeremy Blanton, who just joined us just last week. He's currently on his honeymoon, so we're not bothering him right now, but he will be at Infocomm. So he's already ready to get the show on the road there and start working with us and talk about our products. Across from Uruguay, we've got Diego. He's coming as well. He handles all of our Latin American sales. Bastian is joining Steven all the way from the Netherlands. Bastian is the product manager behind the plexusAV6S. So he'll be really excited to tell you more all about it at Infocomm. And then we've got Sepper Mom, who's the director of PM at Sencor. He'll be also there too to answer any questions. And then hopefully we'll see more of you there as well. It's always something that's really exciting for us to see everybody, get more faces and names, see some old friends, make some new friends. So definitely don't be afraid to come on by. So the next one. All right, so for Infocomm this year, of course, it's Wednesday to Friday. It's 9 to 5 every day except Friday. It shuts down a little bit earlier. We will have a booth training for any partners that are coming on the 17th there at 8:30, so just a little bit before the show starts. You will need a exhibitor pass in order to get in early before the show starts. So if you do need that, please reach out to me directly, and I can get you that. That way you can join us for that. On that same day, we're gonna also have a happy hour from 2 to 5. So come and have some beers, wine. We'll have sodas as well. Yeah, just gotta come hang out. It's a great way to kick off the first day of Infocomm, and try to escape the Vegas heat a little bit. And then we are doing a giveaway this year. We're going to give away one CL100 and one set of Apple AirPods. And so with that, anyone that gets scanned at the booth is entered to win. So make sure if you've got potential customers, people that you're hoping that can win, make sure they come by and get scanned. We'll announce the winners at the end of the show. If you end up wanting to meet before the booth at all, before the show starts, definitely let us know. Reach out to Steven or whoever you want to talk to, and we can definitely get something set up. Yeah. And that's everything on my end. If you have questions, reach out or just let us know.
Can you hear us now?
That might work better, yeah. Okay, so good to see so many of you guys joining. I just arrived in Sioux Falls at our corporate headquarters yesterday evening, and we're having a little office party for the new building, so that's kind of exciting. So that's why I'm in the US a little earlier. So for Infocomm, our show messaging focus is the final piece of the puzzle. You've probably already seen some of the marketing that we did around that. And as you guys know, we started out with a 1 gig solution with the AVN4. And this is almost a year and a half ago. And then we added the sub 100 megabits, right? So if you look at the triangle of AV over IP, then there's always a trade-off between the bandwidth that you use and the quality and the latency that you're getting. We're certainly optimizing that triangle, right? With 1 gig, you get a lot of performance. With 100 gig, you get good performance, but a little bit more latency. But one of the gaps in our portfolio, and this has been a gap for a longer period of time, is the uncompressed side of things, right? So the applications such as LED walls, live events, broadcast applications, control rooms, essentially applications where we're not allowed to every pixel has to be the same pixel at the end, right? Everything has to be as close to zero latency as possible. So the AVN6 series is our 2110 and JPEG XS, or sorry, 2110 and IPMX uncompressed and compressed solution that also has 12G SDI connectivity. So with this, we are essentially completing the puzzle. Like our product line from an AV over IP perspective is complete. We have the sub 100 megabit solution, we have the sub 1 gig solution, and now we have the up to 25 gig uncompressed solution. This is going to be our main focus for InfoComm. One of the big walls on the show will be talking about this, right? And keep in mind, the PAVN6 will give you zero latency, zero quality, and it is our answer for the really premium edge cases of AV over IP, right? Where think about big LED walls, experiential AV installations, stadiums, live events. That is really where that product is going to shine. So this is our key focus for InfoComm this year. So just to reiterate a little bit, so 25 gig uncompressed IPMX and 2110, 12G SDI, 2 IPMX, and from IPMX, of course, so it kind of goes into two directions. And it's a transceiver design again. So if you guys are familiar with the AVN4, it follows the same basic principle that the device is a transceiver. So the user can configure it as either an encoder or a decoder. It also converts standard definition to 4K 60 SDI into routable IP streams and then the other side again. And it has a dual stream strategy, so simultaneous dual streams. So this is an application where you can route uncompressed 25 gig and at the same time have a 1 gig stream that you can route into other parts of the network. This is a unique proposition in the market. There is no IPMX device currently that does this. So it's a really unique feature for this device. The box itself has one gig port and 2 SFP28 ports, which are 25 gig fiber ports, and also supports something called the SMPTE 2022-7 hitless switchover functionality. This is standardized hitless switching, as also supported in 2110, and that will be supported on the AVN6 as well. We do also support PTP, like we do also in the AVN4, but in this case, it's even more mandatory because of the uncompressed environments this box will be working on. And we will also support Genlock for frame sync environments. So if you have a camera where that needs a frame sync or a Genlock, then we can support that as well with this device. So keep in mind 12G SDI, 2 25 gig SFP28 or 2 SFP28 ports that are 25 gig, SMPTE 2022-7, of course, NMOS, IPMX 2110, and PTP and Genlock. So a very powerful small device because it's still 1/3 RU. So you can put 3 on a 1 RU shelf. And if you compare that to one of the main competitors, for instance, Matrox can only put 2 on a 1 RU shelf. So from a density perspective, we're also way ahead of them. Also look at the front. It has a full tactile front panel with the status information like you're used to on the AVN4, but now you can also configure the IP addresses and configure the settings from that front panel. The other main focus for the show is the introduction of our PAVN SPK family, 3 PoE plus powered speakers. In a ceiling form factor, a surface form factor. So surface meaning you can mount them on the wall, you can put them on a table. I do know people also put this to like the I-beams in a restaurant or something if it's easier, and also a pendant speaker. So these 3 models all come in white and black. Like I said, PoE plus powered. and they all boast the same 6.5-inch woofer and 1-inch directional tweeter, which means that the sound, the sound quality and the sound experience that you get from these speakers is all the same, so you can easily mix and match them. They all have a built-in DSP and graphic equalizer. They support Dante, AES67, and IPMX. By default, they're implemented in our visual array software, which we will be showing off at Infocomm, and they also have a full REST API. The control options that you have inside of the speaker. So although this only shows the ceiling speakers, the options are the same in all three models. So the surface, the ceiling, and the pendant speaker. We have Dante in there by default. So that means that you can also control it with Dante controller. We have NMOS in there, which would give you your NMOS auto detection automatically, because we also support AES67, makes it an IPMX speaker. So essentially three modes: IPMX NMOS control mode, where the speaker is automatically detected inside of our visual array software. In the AV matrix, you can route the channels, right? There's a new audio tab that we will also be showing at Infocomm. The audio signal comes in IPMX, so it also means it can take a signal directly from our AVN products. And the IP signal is essentially IPMX, AES67, and PCM audio. It's a lot of terminology, but just remember that it's completely IPMX and NMOS capable. For Dante controller, most of you are very familiar with Dante, right? So it's Dante with PCM audio. The speaker is auto-detected by the Dante controller software. You can route the channels and the inputs and outputs in the Dante controller, and you can put those audio signals from any Dante source, including also our AVN products, because they're also a Dante source. And in the 67 mode, this is also a mode that's being used in the market. There's no auto detection because there is no NMOS and there's no Dante auto detection, but the audio signals are still AES67, and the IP signal is essentially AES67 with PCM audio in there. So for all these three use cases, right, the speaker by default caters to these use cases. So no licensing, no different SKUs that you need to maintain. It's all inside of the same device, right? So very flexible. Can you go to the next one? Was there a question about the speakers? Saw something in chat. Maybe we can answer that right away. Somebody asked, is the goal to enhance the speakers with more models? Potentially, right? So we've already been looking at maybe cascade or daisy chaining speakers. So one PoE speaker in the ceiling that can daisy chain to like 3 additional ones. That is certainly things that we're looking at. But right now we're launching these 3 models. So the pendant, the surface, and the ceiling speaker. So that's for now. The speakers do ship in individual boxes, right? So one speaker, one box. We certainly can fit 4 speakers in a box or 2 speakers in a box for you, but they don't ship in pairs, so they ship in individual speakers. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll gather some of the questions around the speakers and then answer them at the end of the presentation, right? So again, the final piece of the puzzle is here, right? So our messaging at the show is we are now announcing a complete IPMX portfolio from 100 megabits H.264, H.265, all the way to JPEG XS and 25 gig uncompressed 2110. Matrox has been making some noise in the market as well. They're kind of doing it upside down. They're now presenting an H.264, H.265 1 to 2 frame box as the best invention since sliced bread. But keep in mind, we've already had this for about a year and a half. So there's nothing unique there. We're just doing it the other way around, right? So we are kind of adding that uncompressed while we already had that sub 100 megabit high performance, extremely low latency on H.264, H.265, plus the 1 gig JPEG XS and the 2110. Our booth is designed as a working system, right? So it's not isolated boxes or isolated demos. It's a complete setup. So if the customer is asking, like, how does this system work, right? It's completely one network. Everything is running next to each other. There's nothing we're doing separately. And as a partner, right, our advice really is sell the ecosystem, right? Present us as a solution by looking at all the individual functionality of all our boxes, our products, right? And then bringing the open standard story, right? To remove the lock-in objections, but focus on making sure that whoever comes to our booth, right, understands who we are, what we do, what we stand for, right? So, which is a true full range of AV over IP systems that cater to any application in the market, right? That are pragmatic in their approach by identifying the fact that there is more than only one protocol, that there's always going to be more than one protocol, and then we accept that that's there, and then we provide solutions to gateway those in and out of our system, right? So we're not a closed ecosystem, not just because we support IPMX. We are not a closed ecosystem because we fundamentally don't believe in a closed ecosystem, right? So make sure that we share that with the customers. And then one thing that might be fairly new to all of you, I think some of the AVN6 have been shared with you guys before. As you know, the server pricing, mini PC pricing worldwide has doubled or maybe even tripled in the last months due to all the AI farms that are being built. We decided instead of just raising the prices, we actually build our own server platform. So this is the new 1RU hardware platform that replaces our previous super micro servers. This is going to start shipping relatively soon after Infocomm. And instead of only replacing what we had before, we actually one-upped it a little bit because this server comes with dual power supplies built in by default. It comes with dual 1 gig network ports and an HDMI output, so no longer having to mess around with that VGA output and converters. It has a PCIe expansion port on the inside, which we will be using for future expansion. And it also has a front panel, right? So on that front panel, you will be able to see the status. You'll be able to configure your IP configuration and some of the basic settings through a tactile button control on the front. There's also the power status and LED indicators. And the best thing is there's no price change, right? So we are going to keep selling this for the same pricing as we had on the SEG Advanced and the VA Advanced. And most of our competitors have been increasing prices on servers significantly. So this is going to put us in a very sweet spot from a server pricing perspective, while also boosting a lot of great new features that we previously did not have. So this platform is also going to be at the show at Infocomm. Yeah, it's a good new replacement and actually strengthening our position.
Yeah, and this chassis will run both the visual array as well as the stream conversion gateway software.
Okay.
Switch it over.
Yeah, if you can talk a little bit about the booth sections and how everything is set up, that would be great.
Thank you, Stephen. My name is Jason. I'm here in the Sioux Falls headquarters, and I was instrumental in setting up the equipment that we're going to be showing for the booth. So I wanted to give a highlight of how it's sectioned out. So from a top down, we basically have section numbers, which will be numbered in the booth, and each one kind of has a product theme or a specific thing that it's focused on demoing. So we can kind of walk through what these look like. Starting with the first section, which is the biggest wall of the booth, the biggest flash, and my recommended starting point will be all about showing the AVN6S product. So again, this is the 25 gig uncompressed SDI with 12 gig connectors. We'll have a web interface on the lower TV on the right, right to the product UI. We'll have a playback of the decoder right above it. We'll have both a encoder and decoder right there on the shelf to see in person. And then on the left-hand side, we'll have our visual array, web interface and control, so we can kind of show the entire booth system at once, and how you can easily do bulk configurations and make channel changes. And then above it, we're doing something new, is we've added a 4-input multi-viewer. We're actually going to have 4 of our different model decoders going to the same multi-viewer. So then it's kind of like having 4 TVs at once in front of you, where you can change channels and maybe compare video quality, right, between an H.264 and uncompressed, et cetera. So that'll be real fun to demo. And that's just behind the front desk. Section 2 is the wall with the rack. So as your little sneak preview of what the rack looks like, we'll have the shelves filled out with basically one of every style AVN product that we make, including the new server and the AVN6. And then we'll have a station with a CL100 and a laptop just to the left of it, which will allow us to kind of show the features of the CL100, and then again give us kind of a UI screen to kind of pull up any of the product UI that you see in the rack there. Just above the rack, we'll also have a screen showing a very early preview of multi-viewer software that we're working on as well, which has the ability to tune to H.264 or JPEG XS and do multi-view layouts, and even kind of stretching or skewing the size of the views and moving those around. So very early preview of that, but a great conversation starter for anybody looking to add multi-view to their ecosystem.
It is a it is a project that we are committed to.
Yes.
So we're not just putting this out there just to see the response, right? We are committed to it, but it's just too early to do a full-blown demo.
Yep.
So that's why we're doing a technology demo.
Yeah, but we're excited to get feedback at the show, right? Hear what people like or features that they feel may be advantageous to add. So we're kind of at a good spot to kind of morph that for the market as needed. Section 3 is kind of on that inside corner, and this is the stream conversion gateway demo. So this is one of the bigger shelves that's going to have various cold units. So if you just want to walk a customer to a shelf and kind of pick up and hold and turn around the different style products, we're going to have those laid out. And then we've got the stream conversion gateway web interface on one large TV, and then we've got an AVN4 decoder on the other large TV. And then part of this demo, we actually will have RTSP and NDI-HX camera sources that can get converted into IPMX. So we'll be demonstrating in real time kind of the performance and the ability to tap into third-party PTZ cams and other types of video ecosystems to play back on your IPMX system. This is also another good place that you could start. On the wall just to the left of that will be our traditional 2x2 video wall. So we do 4 decoders that are mounted just outside of the TVs, and they make one image across the whole TV. And just below it, we'll have a laptop with both our wall plates and our AVN3, which does HDBT. So the laptop plugged into the wall plate just below the video wall, you'll be able to view on the video wall. We'll be able to enable or disable video wall mode and kind of show channel changes and switching performance, or again, any UI of any of the product that you see in the booth. So this will be another fun station. I'm also looking at adding an API touch surface as well. So we've got a couple options that we're trying to line up for the show, but it'll at a minimum have a Stream Deck with Companion running. Otherwise, we're going to add some additional API control. And last but not least is a brand new furniture or structure to our booth, which is going to be our speaker audio pod or our audio demo. It's going to be a 2-sided freestanding. So one side's going to be facing the aisle, and that's going to have the keyboard and mouse. So that's the front view on the left. And then one of our ceiling speakers will be mounted flush to the wall right above you. So you can actually pull up the visual array, show the different types of speakers being detected automatically via NMOS and do channel changes. And then on the rear side of this, we're actually going to have 2 hanging pendant speakers. So it'll be one black and one white speaker. And then we'll also have a surface speaker or bookshelf style speaker, as well as the ceiling speaker. And then those will all be able to play audio. We might do a little music during the happy hour, but be able to kind of demonstrate the UI, the management and control via visual array and the channel switching. So that's our kind of virtual booth tour in a nutshell. And then as the earlier slide said, if anybody wants to maybe meet before the show or kind of have a backstage access before it kicks off, let us know, right? We can certainly do everything we can to give you information and product demos. Yeah,
there's one thing to add, like our products will not only be at our own booth, right? We will also have our products at some other booths this year. So one of the booths is the AIMS Alliance, the IP Showcase demo. We're going to be participating there like we've done almost every year, right? That's in Central Hall as well. Then our product will also be on display at the Interpix booth. We will be with our friends from Tower and TechNet Distribution in Central Hall. Netgear AV will have one of our devices on display as well as the HDBaseT/Valence booth. Right, so our products are going to be scattered all over the InfoComm show floor, essentially. I think we're now kind of went through everything, right? If there's any questions, this would be a good time to put those in chat. then we can answer them. And if there's maybe a way to go a couple seconds to see if there's any additional questions. I think most of the questions on the speakers were answered. We did confirm that the speakers are being shipped in each, right? From the hardware perspective, some of the hardware will be included, especially on the pendant speaker, but on the ceiling mount, depending on the situation, you might need different hardware. So we still need to make some decisions there. Other question, any plans for IPMX PTZ cameras? Yeah, absolutely. There's multiple conversations that we are having, but also I know manufacturers are having with the Ames organization, or even with us and other companies that are doing IPMX. I cannot confirm or deny if there's going to be any announcements at InfoComm around an IPMX native camera, but we're certainly getting very close. And like Jason said, yeah, camera manufacturers are already looking at doing this directly, which does make a lot of sense, because then we can simply just team up with them, and we can figure out a plan forwards based on those collaborations. Okay. Well, unless there's any other questions, I think, Tommy, we can close this session for today. And just wanted to thank everybody for joining. I know it was kind of last minute. We kept it within 30 minutes, nice and short. And if you guys have any questions, you know how to find us.